Tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build a React drop-down using a click functionality. One of the features that will be here, it's not just a drop-down, but we have a feature of click away event handler, which will be able to toggle the state if in case it's active and we are clicking away from the drop-down button. So you can see if we click on the button itself, we are able to toggle the state of the button, and if we click on the button again, it will toggle the state to hide the list. So one nice thing, if you click away from this button when it's active, then you can see the list appears and are able to see things. So let me just show you in the console what happens. You can see that initially, if we refresh, you can see the state is false, so meaning it won't show. So if I click, it will change to true. If I click again, you can see it toggles to false. And if I click outside this element, you can see it's doing nothing. Okay, but if it's open, you can see if I click outside, it makes it disappear. And you only click if only it's active is when now it is able to toggle this state to off. So I believe you learn one or two. So I've already created a React app using Yarn, and I'll be explaining everything here. So I'll just do a cleanup of everything that's here so that we start afresh. Okay, I'll just remove this so that we have just the React app, and remove everything dealing with the state and what have you. So even this one, I don't think if I need this line for now. So I have this basic app. You can see currently it's just a list, a button, a list, and some list items. So what we'll be doing here, so because don't focus so much on the UI, just want to make you focus on the functionality, so that whatever UI you're going to use to make it work, it will work. So this is the list. It's visible, and this is the static view, the dynamic content we are going to create. So first of all, we need a state to tell us whether the drop down is on or off, if it's open or it's closed. So we'll just use the React use state. So const state, okay, open, then set open. I use state. Okay, so this state at initially it will be false. Because I'm using TypeScript now, I'll just infer the type here boolean, so that it doesn't give me never type. Then we can just say here. So we'll create. Let's just log this, log open. If we check in the browser, you can see it's false. If I refresh again, you can see it's false. So let's go to the fleshy stuff. So let's make sure, because this button is just a child of this container, it's the one we're going to click so that it will be able to toggle this state. So what we can do, just create a function here which will be setting our open state, maybe handle, let's name it handle drop down focus. It will be an arrow function. Then now here what we'll do, it's just going to pick the state, not really the state, it's not necessary. So what we'll do, just set open, then we'll toggle the state of open current. We'll just pass the state here, then we'll pass not state. Okay, so this will be a boolean for the typings in TypeScript. So what we'll do, we come to this button, then say on click it will pick an event, then we'll handle drop down focus, then what will pass, it's a boolean, so we'll pass open. That's our state. So just format this so that we see what's happening. So let's go to the browser and see what's happening. If I refresh, initially it's false, so if I click on it, you'll see it's true. If I click on it again, you'll see it's false. So let's make it visible. If let's make the list appear if it's open, so we'll just say open, and so you know, if it's true, then it should return anything after that, so it should return this list. So these are short circuit condition. So let's refresh. You can see if we click on it, it will appear. Okay, it will appear. Then we click this, it will be changing state, yes, but if we click on these items, yes, they have the hover effect, but if we click outside, nothing happens. So how do we get this functionality to work? So one of the things, we have to know where we are. So what are we clicking outside here? Okay, so it's the window object, so we need to bind some given functionality to the window object, so such that if we click outside this drop down, we'll be able to toggle this state. Okay, so on one condition, should this event be triggered, it should only be triggered only if this list is shown. And when is this list shown? It's shown when the toggle state is active, or it's the open state is active. So let's see how we go about that. For that, we'll need a way on how to get this element, the drop down element, if it's forecast. So one way, if you're using vanilla JavaScript, you'll do something like document.get element by ID, then you pass the ID, then you do .add event listener, something of that sort. But because we're in React, we have to think reactive, React way. So React offers a given functionality like a hook, which we can be able to hook to an element so that we are able to get its reference wherever we are in the DOM. So this is the useRef hook. So I'll just create a ref here, const drop down ref equals to use ref. Okay, it will be useRef hook. But we know in TypeScript we have to infer which type of element we are taking. So initially it will be null, but if it's configured, then we'll be expecting it to be pointing to this div element. So we'll just need to pass the HTML div element. Okay, so once we have that, then we can just come here and say pass the reference. So ref will be a drop down ref. Okay, so once we pass that, let's log the ref drop down ref dot current. So you can see it's this item. Okay, if we click here, you are able to see that we have this, it's passing this reference, and we are able to get this DOM element. So in case I click on this, then you can see it's just with the button, and if it's open, it's loaded with the element. So that tells us that we have this element in the DOM. So let's create a function that will be able to check if that element is in the DOM and this list is open. Okay, so what we'll do, just remove this. We'll have a window object. Okay, so I have a window object, say if let's say window dot add event listener. So it will be a click event, then we'll say handle click outside drop down. Okay, so this function is not there yet, so we'll create it. Okay, so just say const that function name is equals to, it will pick an event of any. I guess that will do for now. So what are the conditions here? We said only if this list is active should we be able to click and trigger the state outside. So let's try, but we need to check first what's there. So what we need to check here, if open log clicked active. Okay, so if we check on this, if I click outside, okay, so you can see clicked active. Okay, so you can see whenever I click, it's just keeping the count here. So anything clicked on this window will trigger the window to call this function. So what we need to do, we'll check if it's open and the window object contains the element that we want to toggle off. So we have reference to this drop down ref. So what we need to do, we'll check if it's there and not drop down ref dot current dot contains. So it will check if the window contains that object. So e dot target. Okay, so that's the window. We'll check if we have this drop down ref. Need to pass here as node, so that it knows that we are checking a given node in the DOM, so that it should only trigger this function once this is true. So let's see. Just clear that. So if we click here, you can see click active. If you click here, click active. So if we click outside, you can see it's still working. So let's see. Okay. say set open false. So if we click, you can now see that it will set this state to false, and you can see it only toggles once. So you can see if I click it returns false. If I click again, you can see if I click and click outside, it will change it to false. So this is how it works. So I believe that's all. You can have this to do whatever you want, whatever features you want to make with React where you require drop down. So thank you, and for those who may wish to have the code snapshot, I'll have a version of it in GitHub and a link in the description below. If you like this content, please press the like button and subscribe for more, so that I may continue producing such videos. Thank you.